welcome to State of Art Academy Days number 10, celebrating the 10th anniversary, and I'm very happy to speak with Lewis Quinn from Grain in England. So to get this started, a little bit of an introduction about yourself and how you got into the architecture visualization business.
So I started in architectural illustration around 20 years ago, really just because I wanted to be an architect, but I was too lazy to go to architecture school, so I realised that if I drew the pictures and celebrated the vision of other architects, it would be a faster route for me to be able to do the things I enjoy with architecture.
So you first started at Harris Davidson, right? And then you started your own company, Grain. Can you tell us a little bit about the decision, the transition between the companies? What made you start your own practice?
So I started before Harris Davidson, before I met Alan, in a small architect's practice, being an architectural assistant, just drawing pictures and getting to work with some amazing architects, Norman Foster, Richard Rogers, places like that. And then I met Alan, and we worked together for 16 years or so, building up Harris Davidson and just doing still images, beautiful work, and working with amazing architects. And then there comes to a point where I wanted to do a little bit more. I wanted a little bit more I wanted our team to have a bit more of a control about the work, how it would end up. Frustrated that however much we cared and genuinely loved the work that we did, ultimately it was handed over to somebody else, and they could do whatever they want with the assets and how they're printed or how they're reproduced. And so with Grain, I wanted to celebrate all of the different ways of communicating architecture, not just in rendering or drawing, but with physical models, but with immersion spaces, and understanding that relationship between art and architectural illustration in more media than was there. So now at Grain we have 47, I think, people, roughly split half and half between a physical model shop and a digital team, where we have Unreal Unity developers alongside CG artists, and what's really different about it is that the physical materials are there, they're in the studio, they're downstairs, so all of the artists, even working just digitally, they can go downstairs, they can touch and they can feel, and they can bring it up. Just the other day, we were working on a big tower block, and I saw one of the artists just go downstairs and carry a big tower model, a solid metal carry model. She carried it upstairs, put it on her desk so that she could then illustrate that. And she was one of the, actually she's a Unity developer for a big media wall that we're doing. But just seeing the physical model on an artist's desk was a moment just recently at Grain when I thought, okay, this is starting to come together now. This is working.
You've mentioned in your presentation the fact that you're not using the VR headsets that much, but you have other solutions for that kind of thing. So can you tell us a little bit about that, a little bit more?
Yeah, I'll try, yeah. I'm not really the best person at these events because I don't really like that. I've never played a computer game really. Maybe I play FIFA with my son, that's about it. And some of the guys at the studio, just absolutely in love with them. But with the headsets, we have to remember our audience, who we're talking to. And when we communicate in architecture, or particularly like residences, it's very difficult for someone to come in and put a headset, which is quite heavy, quite sweaty. You don't know who's had it on before. All of those personal things. And you don't know what they're seeing as well. So from a host point of view, trying to talk someone around and explain architecture when you can't really feel what they're feeling, there's a multi-user experience, never felt quite right for us. So we might use a headset, but we use a physical material as well. But more often than not, we'll create a whole room that allows a multi-user experience using the same tools rather than a headset, big touch screens and big media walls.
In terms of hiring new talent to your studio, considering the fact that you do much more than just the visual aspect, so what is it you look for in a new person coming to work in the studio?
Anything and nothing really. Like one of the best guys I've ever taken on is now one of the partners at Harris Davidson, and he came to me with a CV which was one photograph and one watercolour painting that he did with his mum. And there was just something in him, in the way that he was using his eyes and not the tools. And that principle and that example still carries on now. We have a pretty young team. I think, I don't know what our average age is, but it's got to be at the low 30s at the very highest. And it's really the people that really love what they do and enthusiastic about it, but can communicate positively with each other, and that's really important. So we've got one big studio, lots of different types of people and characters. And as everybody that comes to our studio needs to be open and honest and be able to communicate well. Everybody's opinion just as valid as the next person. So we do lots of forums and seminars and team meetings where everybody talks about the work we're producing. So really, in regard to hiring new talent, people that feel inspired and motivated to jump into that forum, they're the right people. It's not for everybody because it's quite an open environment. Everything is completely open and transparent. Everyone can see everything. So it takes a reasonably confident person, but I think first it's the enthusiasm and joy for doing what they do and understanding good architecture and good design.
Okay, thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next one.